Hi, Mari.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Matt.
Hi.
Can you
I'm Mari.
can you hear me okay?
I can't see your face.
Oh, let me put on my video. Here it is. I was just walking around Azabu Juban today, and I
Okay.
just returned. Okay, video's coming up.
Good. Hello.
Hi. Wow.
Hi.
Finally we can meet. So you were Ryugakusei too, right?
Right. Long time ago though.
So I was Ryugakusei in Japan from 1992 until 1995.
Okay.
It looks like you're calculating.
I think it was 1980, 85.
Oh, okay.
Wait. That was so
34 years?
years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
32 years ago. Yeah.
And you were a high school student?
Yeah, I went high school there.
Oh, okay, yeah. In 1985, I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay. So it's about same age.
About the same. Yeah. Same era, same jidai, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I came to Japan Heisei Gannen.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you to come here? Come to Japan.
So I came in the Navy, so I had no choice. It
Okay.
was, right? Kuni no meirei de. You're going to Japan. I said, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, as far as my story, I had an opportunity to work in the Honyakubu in Yokosuka base. So
Okay.
I broke my ankle,
Uh-huh.
and they gave me a choice. I could work in the dormitory.
Mhm.
It's called barracks in military language, but it's
Okay.
basically dormitory because some people come to the base
Mm.
and fune mada inai nai, so they have to wait like one week or 1 month. So I have to check them in and then give them activities. That was one option. The other one was honyakubu, but I have to pass hiragana and katakana in 2 weeks. So I had to take a test.
2 weeks. Yeah.
So motivation.
I grown up in Yokosuka.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So the reason I start studying English is because we had this family near my house, and the father was in I'm not sure which Navy or Air
Kaihei.
Force or I don't know, but
Probably Marines or Navy.
Yokosuka base, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's the reason how I got interested in English.
I see.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, I want to know how's Tae doing in the States?
So I only met her a couple times,
Okay.
and when we think about going abroad, I think there's many things that parents should think about. Number one is what is the environment, right? So she's a little bit away from Seattle,
Okay.
but that could be good, right? I forget,
Right.
she's doing homestay or share house?
She was doing homestay, but now she's in share house.
Right, yeah, I wasn't really sure. I don't remember the particulars, but why did she leave the homestay? Do you remember?
I thought the first family she had in was only grandma, and she was Filipino, and my daughter got hurt on the road
Oh, that's right.
by attacking some black people.
Yeah, somebody attacked her.
Took her cell phone, And we thought maybe that area was a little bit dangerous, and she wanted to change the host family. So she changed to the, I don't know, the one she changed was American family, and they had parents and 2 daughters. So that was quite okay. But maybe after 3-4 months, she thought it's time to start living by her own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And homestaying is pretty expensive. So
Right. So let me answer your question. You asked how your daughter is doing.
yeah, right.
So I think she's doing fine. I think her English language ability is good.
Okay.
I think she's going to school and getting good grades and studying hard.
Uh-huh.
And then she had a couple living experiences which probably expanded her knowledge of a different environment, right? So for me, I think she's doing what other students are doing to have a good experience abroad. But to me, here's the question. Is this experience recognized by the future employer? Right? Because when you and I went abroad, just going abroad was enough. Right? If you go abroad and speak some English, you can get a job and everything is fine. But even then, I think I got a job at Itochu in IT, right? There was a kogaisha called CTC Technology. And then later I quit and I got a job in finance. Then I quit and got a job in package design. So 2 problems I had was I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then my satisfaction level was very low. And then on my boss's side, they lost because I quit. So even though I had a good experience and the Japanese companies thought they could use it, in actuality, I had big gaps. And I think the same problem is happening with students these days. The difference is just going abroad isn't enough, right? 行くだけでもう十分ではもう十分だっていう声が少なくなってきた。I hope my Japanese makes sense.
少なくなってきた. Yeah, I told her, there's so many people who can speak English in Japan. So if you only can speak English, it's not enough. You have to be someone who can do something with your English ability. So it's not 行くだけで OK. No.
Exactly. So this is the problem. This is the problem I'm trying to solve. Right? So have you had a chance to look at my website?
Yeah.
Okay. So I came to Japan this time to get more knowledge about the market. So I'm going to make some updates to make it more impactful. And I'm actually going to make more podcasts. I had a podcast of 9 students talking about good and not so good homestays. And then the second podcast was 7 students. And they were talking about if they could do homestay again, what would they do differently? And then my third podcast is actually there's a lady by the name of May-san in San Diego, and she does podcasts. She interviewed me about RyugakuSuccess and RyugakuSuccess's BRIDGE Activity. So that one is going to be out in next month. So I want to make more because there's no place with the voices of Kako no Ryugakusei and right 社会人 or 業界の人の声 or ご両親の声どこにも残ってない。So if I could make this, then I think students will have a better idea what kinds of activities to do. Parents will also know the good questions to ask to agents and to schools, and this will probably help agents provide better services to the parents and to the students. And then my message that I want to give is, while you're abroad, why don't you talk to people working in the industry that you want to work? And even if you don't know what industry you want to work, choose one and learn, because 40 to 80% of the know-how you can take to the different industry.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
I
think,
think it's very good.
thank you. Yeah. So I was Daini Shinsotsu before there was the word Daini Shinsotsu. But now it's a recognized problem. If we could limit that by having more clarity at the beginning, then I think for the student to get a job, their level of satisfaction will go up, and then the risk for the future manager will go down. So as a result, when the student goes to the interview, they are more attractive. So
Right.
that's my goal for students.
Uh,
And it looks like nobody else is really doing this. I mean, I put a lot of time
yeah.
housing students and then coaching them. Some of them quit.
Mm.
So I have to start again, right?
Yeah.
So if they only continued, they would have gone over the first hurdle or the second hurdle, right? So having the how do you say, keizoku ryoku?
Yeah. How many years have you doing this?
About 16.
16 years?
Yes. Probably
Okay.
more, because when I first came back from Japan, I worked at a 3D animation software company, and I had interns, and they were talking to me about their problems.
Okay.
You know, they're like, they don't feel that they're getting the skill. They're kind of nervous because they're going to go back to Japan in 2 months, and they didn't reach the level they thought they could reach. So they're like,
Right.
you know, what should I do now? And I gave them advice. To me, this is simple advice. I think as shakaijin ourselves, when we're 30s, 40s, and 50s, it's natural to meet people, and we already have our base of people that we know, and just naturally, like, we get maybe some question like, "いい人知らない?" right? Or 紹介してください. So these things happen naturally over time.
Right.
But I think if we're students, we could create these relationships, right? Because sooner, and we can get the benefits sooner as well.
Right.
The difference is, usually after we go into the company, we naturally make connections. But while we're a student, I think it's even easier to make connections because we're in a neutral position, right? 可愛がってくれる時代, right? And some people like Japan, or some women want to empower other women, or maybe there's a Japanese person in the country or city that someone is studying, so that person will meet you. Or somebody just wants, they're okay to donate time to you if you ask.
Really?
Yeah. That's the foundation. My foundation of my business is asking people to donate 40 minutes to meet you. Then from there, we have strategic points, right? How to carry the conversation, even if you don't speak English much. And then how to develop the relationship to fill your gaps. So I think this is something that more ryugakusei can benefit, because just going abroad is not enough for 2 reasons. Number 1, now so many Japanese are going abroad.
Right.
And number 2, there's so many non-Japanese studying Japanese or living in Japan and speaking Japanese.
Yeah. So doing this kind of things for 16 years, you have many students who get the job that they really want because they have done this program.
Some of them, yes, but just like a university, I can't guarantee they're going to find their dream job. right? Just like when you go, when people go to the what do they say? 結婚 advisor, right? 絶対結婚は成功できるとは言えない。その中で離婚する人もいる。
Right.
Right? Of course, right? So just like that, at least we're going to be stronger.
Okay.
Right? So if you go abroad to do ryugaku, then we already know it's not enough, just historically.
Right.
But, and we know that, how do you say, like, その留学の experience 求める人が最終的に面接官。Right? 評価するのは面接官。So if the future interviewer is the one who is going to recognize your experiences, then isn't it a good idea to talk to people who are similar to the interviewer?
Right.
Because it's usually not the parents. And internship is only one.
Yeah.
And talking to friends, 結構遠い. Right? So if we talk to people who are going to ask you questions similar to interviewer,
Right.
and if we talk to people who will give us more information about the industry, then of course we're going to fill our gaps better and deeper
Yeah.
and broader and more colorful. So, and I tell students, don't worry about English because there's people that you can contact who speak Japanese, or there's Japanese people you can meet, or just like we're doing, right?
Right.
You are, where are you? In Saitama?
Saitama, yeah.
Right, and I'm in Tokyo, so we're doing Skype.
Uh-huh.
So I've had students do Skype from like England to other country, to Japan, from Seattle to Bali, from Seattle to Japan.
Yeah.
Right. So I was really I started focusing on students who live in my houses. So they're going to pay me the rent. But of course they were kind of not sure at the beginning. So I just charged them basic rent. Right? And then they saw the benefit. So of course if you meet 10 people, you're going to get more benefit. But does that mean you're finding your dream job?
Yeah.
Could be yes, it could be no. But at least we did some activity that didn't cost so much more money.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good experience if you can talk to the people who's interested in your dream job. Yeah.
Right? At least you will know more clearly if it's a dream job. Sometimes when you talk to people and you realize the reality, your
Right.
dream might be a nightmare.
Yeah, when I first went to California as an exchange student, my dream was to be a cabin attendant.
Yeah.
But on the plane, I saw the cabin attendant, and then I realized that this is not what I want to do in my future. Yeah, so I changed my dream. I changed my aim. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So flight attendant is kind of easy because we can see them in their job.
Right.
So other people, we may not be able to see them, but at least we can talk to them. And if we create a relationship and they trust you, then they're willing to help you, then why not ask, hey, John, can I do job shadow someday? Right? And to actually go into the business and see what's going on. Because, and a lot of students, they'll say, oh, I want to work in an American company. I'm like, what is that? What does that mean? Because, because Microsoft is so different from Amazon. Amazon is so different from like Uber or Facebook. There's corporate culture, right? NEC is so different from Itochu. And of course, AU is different as well. Right? So even Japanese companies, they have shafu. Shafu って言葉自体が, right? It means there's differences. So I tell students, okay, go and meet people, and then you're going to understand the realities. And I tell people, don't worry about the differences, right? It's not gohan, nan, pan, injera. No, it's tansukabutsu. You know, let's don't worry so much about the differences, especially when we're young, because if you talk to people who are working in America or working in Italy or England, all these companies have to make money. Or even if they're a nonprofit, they still have to raise money, right? And they all must do marketing. Someone has to speak about the product or service, right? And of course, sending emails, communicating with people, maybe even settoku, you know, influence, or what is it called? What do you say settoku in Japanese?
Settoku?
Yes. Convincing.
Convince, yeah.
Right? Sometimes we have to. So all these soft skills are in any industry, in any culture.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm interested. You know, you went to America in the 80s.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and it looks like you had a great experience with what we call an American family.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Pamphlito
They were
to-
Mexican American.
Oh, okay.
They were Mexican American family, and yeah. Guess what? I'm going to see them.
I saw that. I
This
saw that on
August.
Facebook.
Yeah. After 25 years.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's your homestay sister.
My home. Yeah. Yeah. She was elementary school student when I was there.
Wow.
Now she's so yeah. Now she has 2 kids, about same age of mine. Yeah.
So you kept in touch all these years, or did you reconnect recently?
We connect about how many years? 3 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, Facebook is awesome.
Because yeah, when I start doing Facebook. Until then, we exchanged the Christmas cards once a year.
Wow.
But that was only and put couple pictures in there. That was only our connection. But after Facebook, yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So Tae told me that she's going to do some volunteer at your place.
Yes. So I still
What kind of volunteer?
Yeah, so I still have to figure out exactly what. So sometimes what I do is I don't receive money, I receive help. Because if I'm going to coach someone for my time, then for my coaching, I need value back. So this time when I came to Japan, I have to figure out what my next move is, right? So I'm going to talk to her again and ask her about what her career goal is. And usually what I do if someone is volunteering for me, one of the things that they must do is bridge activity. So I'm going to coach a little bit, right, to make sure that they're going in a direction that they want to go for their career. And then whatever help they can do for me is going to be aligned with their career goal. So the some of the choices are helping me translate. So of course that's good for someone who wants to be a translator, right? Right. And then I need to do some marketing. So if someone wants to do some marketing, then why don't you help me do some marketing? But it's required to go out and meet marketing people as well. So let me coach a little bit and let me give some benefit too. So for your daughter, I have to go back to the States and then figure out number one, what are the things I need, and then I'll present them to her and then ask her to choose something. And then whatever she chooses, I'm going to, I call it challenge her. Why does she want to do that kind of job? And okay, this is what you want to do. While you're helping me, please also meet industry people, because you're going to become more clear and you can actually get feedback and maybe come with good ideas and put those ideas into action. So this is called experience. So by the time she goes back to Japan, hopefully when the interviewer asks her, what did you do in America? right? She can say, well, I did what everyone else did, but I also was proactive to go out and meet industry people. And the more that I met them, I started to get the idea of what kind of things I could do. And actually, I helped a company do this. Right? So I think students can get experience and experience. So the difference is taiken or taiken and keiken. I think in English we only have the word experience. One is probably hands-on experience compared to just experience, second-hand experience. Keiken and taiken. So now she can have the story of doing both. And as she's meeting industry people, they can also give her some tips about interviewing. I don't know every industry, but I know it's possible to contact people. And if you have the right strategy, you can get from them not only industry information, but also interviewing tips and strategies. Right? So I don't call myself a career coach, really. I call myself a bridge coach. I'm showing students how they can learn from industry people about their industry.
All right. Yeah.
So that's my goal for your daughter, with your permission, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, first I thought if you're helping Japanese exchange student, you only speak Japanese, and it's not good. But she told me that she's not only talking to a Japanese exchange student, but also she has to meet the people in industry, in your words. Yeah, and yeah, you could coach her.
Right.
So that maybe it's a good idea to do that. So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, so my coaching is not an English lesson. My coaching is to help students bridge their gap. Because here's the point. Say, for example, I asked a student in Japanese, あなたの短所は何? 短所? Weak point? Weak point?
短所.
短所. あなたの短所は何ですか? Right? It's an interview question, right? They can't answer the question even in their own language. So it's not about English. It's about the strategy and technique.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. English and Japanese, the language is only two.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. You have to have yourself
right.
to. Yeah.
So for me, in this 限られてる時間, sometimes it's better to speak in Japanese so they understand.
Right.
And sometimes when I speak in English, なんか相手が分かるふりする時もある。Right? はいはいはい。あ、分かりました。はいはい。了解。Right? And then 何もしない。So this way I can help them so that they could take action. Then the people they meet, they could use English. Right? So I would rather they understand, whether it's in Japanese or English. To me, it doesn't matter as long as they understand.
Okay.
And then go out and use their tools with strategies. Right? So sometimes, depending on the student, because I've had students who don't speak like any English, but they meet industry people and they write down on paper their questions and then show the industry people. And if they do this with 10, 20 industry people, their hearing is going to improve and their questioning is going to improve too.
Right.
Because the conversation is limited. And from the Shorai no Mensetsukan, that's also valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
So a couple of the things I want to do is continue with my podcasts of talking with students. But probably in the future, what I want to do is have a podcast with parents. Maybe the parents who were thinking about ryugaku for their kids. The second group could be parents of students who did ryugaku.
Right.
And then the third situation is mixing both.
Yeah.
Right? So we can give advice. We can give some kind of knowledge exchange, and then we're building our community of ryugakuse. So actually this Wednesday I'm going to have a kind of a social time at Tokyo American Club for かっこ現在将来の留学生。
かっこ現在将来。Okay. Right.
So yeah, if it's genzai, they're probably not in Japan, but sometimes depending on the month, they're home for vacation.
Yeah.
And I also tell them, when you come home for vacation, meet shakaijin while you're a student. Right? It used to be that, how do you say, 出た杭が打たれる?
Right.
But now, 出た杭がチャンスを引っかかる。あまり出すぎると良くない。Right?
Right.
So I want to make the students who are protruding enough to catch many chances. So this, some people ask me, why do I do this? And I say, well, this is an opportunity I see that I can help. I'm passionate about it. There is money. I mean, it's a business. There is money to be made, but my goal is to either provide something for free through YouTube, because for the student it's free, but through the advertising, potentially I make some money.
Oh yeah.
Right, and then the coaching. The parents are spending 300万, right, a year, about.
Oh, right, yeah.
So if a student takes 20 of my coaching or 15 of my coaching, it's about how much? $2,000.
Okay.
So, or 1,500. So usually students don't need to take so much of my coaching. They take a little bit because their goal is to meet industry people. If they're meeting industry people, they're not talking to me. So they meet industry people, right? And they do many activities, then they come back to me for advice.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, maybe we need like 5 times in 2 months. And then in 3 or 4 months, maybe 5 months, 5 more times. So even 10 times is only like $500. So that's about 2% more. So 2% above gakuhi, but almost 40%, 50% more value.
Right.
Because I think we have to think about ryugaku as investment.
Right. Yeah. Tuition is so high.
Right.
The tuition is different from American citizen and international student, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Tai wants to go to university, but yeah, if the tuition is too high, we can't afford it. So I asked her to study hard and get scholarship.
Yeah, get scholarship, right? Exactly.
Yeah, but some university won't let don't have system for international student. Yeah. So
I don't know. I can ask. I was at one time there was an organization called Urban Financial Services Coalition, and I was the student coordinator for scholarships. And then I was actually the president for one day. The director wanted me to be the president.
Oh,
so
one day president.
So I became the president, but then she actually like really, I don't want to say pushed, but she pushed me, and then I took the job. But then I said, you know what, this isn't my passion. My passion is to do my business, RyugakuSuccess.
Okay.
So she actually, so then the other person who was competing, he became the president, but there are some scholarships available. At that time, I can look into it, and maybe I can connect you with this lady. Her name is Lizzie at Urban Financial Services Coalition. Yeah, after we finish, I'll connect you with her, and then you can ask her. I think the limit, the focus for this organization is you must study IT, finance, which includes accounting, and I forget, there was one more, maybe marketing, but IT is everywhere now, right? So actually the scope is very broad,
Right.
and there's so many places that give scholarships that students don't know about.
Yeah.
So let me connect
So
you with her.
I told her to search every scholarship that she can get as much as she can get.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should I connect you with Lizzie, or should I connect your daughter with Lizzie?
Maybe with my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what can happen. And then as far as, so I didn't mention my share houses, but as far as my share houses, I have different styles of rooms. So I think I can fit almost any budget. And students who live in my house, it's not homestay, it's share house. And we don't focus on, the doggy or Christmas or, Halloween. That's not the focus. The focus of the house is to have a clean environment and a safe environment, and have other people to talk to who have the same type of goal. I want to build my house so that it's all students who are doing bridge activity.
Are they all Japanese?
No, but my goal is to have half of the house Japanese, and then the other half other students or young professionals. Right? Because for me, the Japanese have been very easy to manage and typically are clean. Right? So if I have a house that I have students who want my help, then probably they're going to be good tenants. Right? So in my house, what I think is, if you pay your rent on time, if you recognize a problem and talk about it, if you try to solve problems, when people are living together, there's always going to be some kind of problem. If you're able to take charge and leadership, if you're able to help with conserving konetsuhi, then you're developing these skills of time management, problem solving, moving people, cooperating with people, and having some kind of story on how you contributed to increase something or decrease something. So I'm providing an environment where we can bring our soft skills and make them into experiences that are recognized by future employer. Right? So not just, homestay, and at the same time, we're with other people about our age, so we're making friendships. So instead of a homestay brother, maybe it's a share house roommate. Right? With common goals.
Yeah. But it's if they're only Japanese, they start speaking in Japanese, and I didn't want my daughter to speak Japanese all the time while she was in the States, because now she has
I'm gonna
cell phone.
I'm gonna get my charger, but continue to speak, please. I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. She has her cell phone. She can talk to her Japanese friend in Japanese, and she can read her Japanese friends
Text.
Yeah, or Facebook. So when I was in America, it was 30 years ago, I could only call my mother like twice a year, and writing letter took 2 weeks to get returned.
Right.
So that I it was very big high school, but me and only one another Japanese exchange student were there at that time. So I only speak Japanese with her very short time in a day. And, other than that, I was totally shut out from Japanese. So now it's very difficult for an exchange student to, live in only English.
Right.
Yeah. So I told her, you cannot live with Japanese student. Find American or other countries exchange student for your roommate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not sure if she's doing that or not.
Right. No, I think you have a good point about English. Right. And there's a couple, I think, good points about only being able to speak English, but then again, it's a tool.
Right.
So if we're speaking to our 20代の友達, then maybe, I don't know, right? Maybe we're learning 20代の口癖. So can we use this in the working environment? Hey man, what's up, right? Hey man, what's up? Can this English be okay when you're 30 and 40?
No.
That's just like 極端の話, right? There's I think it's valid to say that it's good to live in an English speaking environment. But I think if we have intention and if we have a goal to meet industry people, then outside of home, we're still getting the English conversation. But this conversation is going to be a little different. It's going to be 何歳でも OK な英語.
Right.
Hello, nice to meet you. Right?
Polite English. Yeah.
I mean, some students, they come to me and say, I want to master English. I want to speak English like a native. Well, there's some native English-speaking Americans who fail in the interview.
Right.
And just like I said, あなたの短所は何ですか? Right? 自分の言葉でも答えない人もいる.
Right.
So I think English is important, but English with some strategies and industry knowledge is probably the next step. それに全て私がかけてる. Right? I didn't go to the best schools. Right? I actually started late. I had bad grades in junior high school and high school. I went to the military. Not, the most successful students don't go to the military usually.
Oh, okay.
But my difference, I think, was my homestay families. I lived with a politician.
Oh, yeah.
Who was a business consultant, and he was also a not a professor, but like he gave discussions at universities. I lived with the Harikyu no sensei.
Yeah.
And he had his own clinic. And then I did a homestay with 病師のお母さんが病師. Right? And then そのお父さんがパイプの工場の部長. But she was the money maker.
Okay.
In the family. So the thing about those three families was they had a business mind. And one of my homestay mother, she told me, because at that time I was thinking I want to be a teacher in America.
Okay.
And she told me, if you receive a salary, you must think about business. So that means any job has a business element. And that teaching didn't really hit me until later. Right? My 政治家のhomestay お父さん, he said, right, マット君、人と歴史作るのが大事だよ。覚えとけ. Right?
Yeah.
And then my Harikiya sensei no お父さん, he was like, don't be shy to contact people. right? We're not born with contacts. We have to make them. How do you say it? Passively making them, 受け身で or アクションを起こして作る。アクションを起こして作る方が将来が、what do you say? 明るくなってくる。So actually 90% of everything about bridge activity is from my Japanese homestay family.
Wow. Okay.
Right? And then I don't know if you know, but I did some consulting work with Somsho. So I was working at Kokuren and flying all over the world. Did some other work with Japanese companies, but the people I worked with were also with people not from Japan, and of course people in Japan. So since 2003, when I started working with NEC, I was traveling a lot, and these students I was coaching made me think about Jinji no Mondai. So I started asking these people, what about your company? What about your people? What I found was this problem is global. So when we go to school, all the students have a different dream, but the teacher has the same teaching. So of course there's a gap. And the companies have Career Fair or Boston Career Forum, right? There's even a new cafe called Shiru Cafe in Japan, but they're located next to all the high-level schools. And this cafe, the concept is the companies will pay a fee and they have access to students for interview or internship or information interview, just casual talking or some kind of small presentation, because they need to reach to the student sooner, because the companies know it's not enough just to have an interview later. So even the companies are striving to create relationships. So if that's true, then the student who is proactively meeting industry people by themselves are going to meet the needs more than just the regular student or ryugakusei.
Right.
深いでしょ? And it sounds like work, but it's really 違う遊び方? So many students, it's like, if you're 22, why don't you meet a shakaijin who's like 25 or 26? So you can make a friend and also learn about the industry.
Right.
And the conversation is probably going to be different than if you meet Genchi no Hito at a bar or a club. Right? The conversation is going to be different.
Interesting. Yeah.
I remembered when I was ryugakusei, my English level went down.
Oh, yeah?
What about your Japanese? Did your Japanese level go down when you were in America?
I don't know. Maybe so.
Usually people say it does, right?
Yeah.
So I think
But it was only one year, right? I left Japan.
Right.
So, yeah. So
this way we can still learn like teinego in Japanese, because usually the Japanese in Japan, their Japanese level is increasing, but ryugakusei, they're not using Japanese. So if we're talking with shakaijin who are Japanese, at least we can learn the business, right? Nihon kaiwa. But yeah, some people, they think it's difficult. I tell people, think of it as a different way to have fun. And you can have a friend and do this together, meeting industry people. I had one student, and they went to 3 company Christmas parties.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. How about reverse culture shock?
Culture shock.
Reverse culture shock.
Hmm?
When you come back to Japan, did you have culture shock, reverse culture shock?
My shock was how なんて言ったらいいんだ how skies are shallow. I mean, now I'm living in Saitama,
Yes.
and I can see big sky, no high building around my house here. Yeah, but in Kawasaki, when I used to live, was so building all around my house.
Oh yeah.
I can see only very limited sky.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to live in Ofuna, so I used to pass Kawasaki a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything is so small in Japan. And so, yeah. But when now I miss Mexican food very much.
So next time you come and visit your daughter, please come to my house because
yeah?
my last name is Lopez.
Oh.
My parents are Mexican and Spanish.
Wow.
I can make tacos, quesadillas. And have you ever had menudo? Menudo.
Menudo. What kind of food is that?
It's basically it's a Mexican soup, but it's the same as motsunabe. But there's more soup and a little more spicy.
Tomato base.
Tomato base.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's very less Mexican restaurant around here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So,
you miss Mexican food as a American ryugakuse.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true, right?
Yeah. Taco Bells. Yeah.
懐かしい. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
So how can I help? So in a perfect world, right? What would you like your daughter to come back looking like? And then, how can I help make that happen? From the mother's perspective.
Well, she couldn't go to university, which she really wanted in Japan. She had to go another school, and she didn't like it. So I told her, why don't you go to America? It's better than, being university student in Japan and complain about your teachers in school every day. So she quitted her school and then went to the States. So I want her to at least graduate the community college and do what she wants in English. But now she seemed to wish to go to university in the States. I think she wants to go into Western Washington University. So and she's doing really good to make her GPA.
Yes.
GPA points up. Yeah, I think she's doing really good. So I want to help her to go into that university, and after she graduate university, I'm not sure, but she wants to do the accounting.
I see.
Or sorry, my bad. なんだっけ。トランスポ、あれ貿易
Trade.
Trade? Yeah, she said she wanted to do something for a trading company. Yeah.
Amazon's a trading company.
I don't know. Maybe she wants to do something between America and Japan.
Amazon Japan. There's so many. So here's the point. Let's start meeting people, right? Who work in these companies.
Yeah. So I wish she meet lots of people. What doing something she's interested in, and decide her aim, and then go for it. And I want her to improve her, of course, English ability, but also her knowledge of, that kind of
Right.
industry.
Right.
Yeah, what she needs.
Yeah. I'm pretty much similar in my idea for students. I want them to choose a job where their satisfaction level is high. And also their employability is high. Right? I want them not only to be happy about their job choice, but I want them to go to the interview and the interviewer saying, wow, you're a good fit. We want you.
Yeah. The company, how big the company is not the problem. It's not the problem. It's what kind of job she do in the future, right?
Exactly, yes.
So I want her to do what she wants to do, and that is the job she use English a lot. So she needs to brush up her English and of course the knowledge of what in a trading company,
Right.
to work for a trading company.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I think if she meets industry people, then she's going to know what English needs to be brushed up. Because if she's brushing up her English ability at talking about sports, maybe it's not so relevant. Right? So having a strategy and focusing on the points that matter, then she can do both, kind of iseki nicho, right? Because time is limited and money's limited too.
Right. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, that's right.
So actually, your daughter's situation is my target market. I don't want to say that I won't coach students from Todai or Waseda or Osaka or Noah universities or whatever, but those students tend to feel that they're okay. Right? Matto-san, 私は大丈夫. Okay. I cannot convince them. Also, when they go to the interview, they already have the gakume. Is that right? Gakume? The university.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. They have the gakume, school's name, or maybe they have like iseiseki or something like that. The students I'm focusing on who cannot compete by gakume now can compete in another way. Their industry knowledge and their industry-based relationships. I don't like to say connection. Industry-based relationships.
Yeah. Oh, is it okay? I think it's a low battery now, but
You have low battery? I see.
yeah.
I see.
But I just start charging, so
okay, great.
should be okay.
I think maybe
Yeah.
10 more minutes or so.
Yeah, I just want her to なんだろう、satisfied after she finished her 留学. Yeah, I don't want her to waste her time. But after 4 years, she said, "Thank you, Mom, for sending me."
Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry.
Yeah.
Right? And, look, Mom, I have a job where I'm happy and I'm using both languages. Maybe start working on a third language, right? It was interesting. I was flying a couple months ago, and I talked and I saw this flight attendant. He's a guy, and he had 3 languages on his badge.
Oh.
Besides English, I think it was besides English. There was 3 languages, and I asked him. I said, how many of those languages are you fluent in? And he said, well, let me tell you. He said, if I was talking to somebody on the street, I'm not very fluent in any of them. But if I'm doing my work on this plane, I'm fluent in all of them.
Great.
And I told him that's the point of my business.
Yeah.
If you can do your job in the language, now you have a job. Now you're surviving and thriving. You're taking your kyuryo, and maybe once a year you're doing kaigai ryoko, and then you can work on the fun English, the other English that's not related to the job. Because, in even 2 or 3 or 4 years, we have a lot of homework. We have some time to play. So how do we use that playtime? Because we can't change education. My goal is not to change the education.
I don't know 100% English, right? But I'm okay teaching English to elementary school students.
Right, yeah.
So it's okay. I'm professional teacher.
Exactly.
For elementary school students. Yeah.
Yeah, even in English, people talk about politics. I'm not so interested.
Right.
So I know a lot of the words I don't even know, but I don't need to know them. Right.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, I want my daughter to really satisfied after she finished her education in States.
And I want the same. And I want it so much, I made a roadmap with strategic points for students. Yeah, I read many magazines and books about career development.
Wow.
And they don't really have a step-by-step process. Because they want to sell as many books as possible. Just like education, right? Education, the goal of the school is to make money. The mission is education. So they have to appeal to many students. One teacher, many students, but then there's gaps. And I think these business books or career books are similar. So I think I made my program a little bit different in that it really requires a student to take action.
Right.
There's a proverb in English. You can lead the horse to water, but you cannot make the horse drink the water.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
So that's my point. My problem is, I can show the students and they can feel I can do it, but actually will they do it? That's as far as I can go. But it's interesting that sometimes I really get motivated students. Yosuke-kun was my first student, and he was so motivated. He wrote so many taikendan. And you can hear them on my homepage in taikendan. I have all the taikendan on YouTube video. Yosuke wrote like 45 taikendan.
Wow.
So as you listen to them, you can hear how he's more knowledgeable about the industry little by little.
And now what he's doing?
He's working in IT.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been working for small small foreign companies for the last like 12 years. And actually, he approached a company that was like startup企業, startup, and usually they don't hire 新入社員, right? But they said, "Wow, you're such a like 変わり者 in a good way." Right? I think they basically meant you're so 積極的. So he got a job. Of course, if he's looking for this company on the, how do you say, like the saito, he's not going to find them, right? But he just emailed them. It's called cold email. So, there's 3 ways to get a job: going through human resources, talking to the person who has hiring authority, or knowing someone who knows the person with hiring authority. So, and 80% of companies are chusho kigyo, right?
Right.
Many opportunities. So many opportunities.
Yeah. I'm pretty much satisfied with the job I've had.
Good.
Yeah. First, I was a teller at bank. And I worked for a hotel too. And I worked for moving company.
Okay.
But only the baggage to abroad, the moving company. So every job I've had, I need to speak English, and I could communicate with my customer. That was fun. Yeah. Now I'm just teaching English to kids. It's kind of it's fun, but it's not communicating, right? It's just one way. I teach
Other
them
kids, right?
Yeah. So I like the job which I can communicate with people.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, your job is important because you're starting the new generation, the next generation. But I understand your point. You probably want more in-depth conversation, right? I don't know. Maybe my Ryugaku Success business will grow, and I need some coaches.
Right. Well, yeah.
Do you plan to come to the States? To Seattle, I mean?
To Seattle? No, not to Seattle. But if my daughter goes to Western Washington University, and one day when she graduates there, I'll be there.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Yeah. Well, that was nice talking to you, Matt.
Mari, same here. Yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
And we'll keep in touch. I'll talk to your daughter, and then we'll try to make some kind of action plan, and she'll keep you updated. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact me. And like, if you're not clear, so, Matt, what does this mean? What's going on? I'm happy to let you know what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. I wish my daughter will do good on meeting people.
Yeah, me too.
And do an interview. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's try, and that's all we can do, right? Try.
Right. Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
It's all up to her, right? Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Talk to you.
All right.
Soon.
Bye. Bye.
Enjoy your stay in Japan.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. 失礼します。バイバイ。
Bye.